Okay, it's been a while. To be fair, I should have done this video a lot earlier. However, I've been really ill. I've had something called RSV. Now, I've been ill for maybe 2 months. And with that, I've been in and out of the hospital for 3 times a week, possibly. So it's been pretty hectic. RSV can lead to pneumonia. So they're really worried about me. My neutrophils were really low. They were under zero point 0.5 most of the time. They're still quite low now. They're only at 0.7. So they are still a bit worried, but my other levels have gone back up. My current paraproteins, though, have continued to go down. So currently they're 1.7, which is great because obviously they started at over 70 GLs. So to get that low is amazing. The myeloma in my bone as well is still under 2%. And that started off at over 98%. So again, that's a good result. So just quickly, I went to the hospital today and I saw one of the consultants, not my usual one, another one, and they were talking about allo transplant again. And my sister is a match. However, I'm still cautious about it, although they are pushing me to do it. I don't know what to do. I've asked a lot of people in my groups of what is the best option to do. Should I do it? Should I not do it? And most people could say you can never predict the future, because if I do it and it goes wrong, then I'm going to be upset thinking I shouldn't have done it. If I don't do it and something goes wrong within the next 5 years, I'll be thinking I should have done it. So it is a tricky decision. With the allo transplant, what it is taking stem cells from my sister and giving them to me, and hoping that because she doesn't have any cancer in her body, that her cells attack my ones that do have cancer, because they're going to take out it's similar to the stem cell transplant if you've had that already. Similar to that, where they take your neutrophils down to zero. So they're hoping that taking your body down to zero is resetting everything for when they put my sister's cells inside me. Obviously, with that, you have a high risk of infection because you're having someone else's stem cells in you, and they call it graft versus host. Is one of the worst things that could happen to you, which is their cells start attacking your cells. Obviously, there's other infections that you can get, and they've told me that the major ones is if it attacks your liver as well, is one of the ones, because if it attacks your liver, and your liver is one of the main things that stops infections happening, so it's a big deal. There's a load of other things which I will go through in another video. I just wanted to give you a quick summary of today because it's so fresh in my head about what has happened. So they've said to me, look, you need to make a decision. Are you going to go through with it or not? And not today, but you need to make a decision very soon. I've said I don't know still. I was leaning towards not doing it because I've been continuously, my paraproteins have continuously gone down, and when I feel well, like today, I feel great. So I think, why should I put myself in the predicament of going through a transplant, and the transplant is 20% chance of you could die within 2 years. 20% of that is you're cured myeloma forever. It's the only known cure currently. Then the other 60% is anything. So you could get worse, you could get slightly better, or nothing could happen. So the odds are not the greatest. I have spoken to a few people who have done it, and I am continuously speaking to people who have done it. Most people who have chosen to do it have done it because it was the only option. They did not have any other option left. I'm not currently in that position. I've only done 2 lines of treatment. So I'm not an option where it's my last chance. I'm not an option like them where their paraproteins were not going down. Mine have gone down continuously. So you can see where I'm going with this. It's a tricky one, and I mean, one of the groups I'm in is called Beating Cancer the Natural Way, and obviously with them they all say don't do it 100%. Just eat well, just this, that, and the other. Do what we're doing. None of us have had it done, and some of us are living 20 years extra, etc., etc. So looking at that, it does obviously would sway you to think, why should I do it? But on the other side, like I just said, in 5 years' time, I could get really bad because my form of myeloma is really aggressive, supposedly. So if it gets really bad and they can't control it, then what? Currently, the people that have done it, it's too early to know what's happened with them. So that's the problem with me. I haven't met someone who's had it, let's say 3-4 years ago. And fine. One person I did speak to, I spoke to a lady and her husband, she told me, had it done about, I think he'd had it done about maybe 5 years ago or so. And she said he's fine, although he's got a problem with one of his eyes and he's got a problem with his mouth. But she said he's alive and the myeloma is in remission. She didn't say it's gone completely, she said it's in remission. His paraprotein's are quite low. They're at 8. So I forgot to ask. I need to ask her what. No, she did put it in there actually. What they were before the transplant. I think it was 20. It's gone down to 8. So it's not the greatest. But she said that she thinks that he's not on any chemotherapy at all, and it's still going down. So she thinks it's because of the transplant. Everyone's different, and you got to make your decision. That's what everyone's telling me. Make the decision yourself. It's not up to anyone else to make that decision. And I've consistently asked the consultants, what would you do though? What would you do? Not one of them has said, I would do this. I said, okay, what about your kids? What if one of your kids was in the same position as me? What would you tell them to do? And they say, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. I know it's a difficult one, but I can't answer that. So for me, I know even for you, like watching this, what would you do? What would you do? It's a tricky decision. I mean, I've had myeloma for a long time. August 2018 was when I was actually diagnosed, but I had it longer than that. But we're talking about, as soon as I started treatment in August, it's gone down from over 70 GLs to now, I told you, 1.7 GL. That's a huge drop, and it's carried on dropping the whole time. In terms of my bone, it was 98% infiltration in my bones. It's under 2% now. So again, thinking of that way, you're kind of thinking, oh, I'm fine, and it's going down. However, they keep pressing on me. Your form is very aggressive. It could just jump up at any moment. So that is what's got me thinking. However, again, like I've said, most people have done it. Their paraproteins were a lot higher than mine, and it was a last resort. It wasn't something they're doing, and they're in my position. I haven't met anyone in my position who's going through it. So that's the problem I'm facing. Anyone who's considering it, I feel for you. I really do, because, again, like I've said, it's not an easy decision. And, I mean, they've said to me, whatever decision you make is the right decision. And I'm like, okay, in a sense, when you say that, that means, to me, how I take it is, if I do it and I die within 2 years, and I'm supposed to die. If I do it and I survive within 2 years, I'm supposed to survive. If I don't do it and I'm fine forever, or another new treatment comes out and all of a sudden I'm fine, then I'm fine. If I don't do it and I end up deteriorating and they can't save me, then that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way you kind of start thinking, which is a crazy thought right now, because a lot of the times you blank it out of your head. You don't think about, I'm going to die soon, or I could die, or whatever it may be, but that's the reality, and that's what I've got to face, and I've got to make that decision soon. There's a lot more, again, that I could talk about this situation, but let's leave it for another post. Thanks.